I was talking to someone just recently about the Jim Rohn quote of "you will be the average of the 5 people that you spend most time with," and I've shared that before. You will be the average income, the average attitude, the average achievement of the 5 people you spend most time with. So you should really think about that. But it expands beyond that, and that's what I wanted to get into today about the environment. You know, if a plant doesn't flower or doesn't grow, do you blame the plant? Or do you look at the environment in which it's trying to grow? Do you look at what it's being fed? So actually, we tend to take that for granted. We look, oh, the flower's not working. We don't think it's a rubbish flower, or it must have been a bad seed. We assume that the bulb or the seed or the plant was good because it was good when we put it in there. And therefore, we start thinking, have I watered it too much? Have I not watered it enough? Is the soil good enough? Has the soil got the right nutrients? Has the soil got the right drainage? And if we want a plant to grow, then and to bloom and blossom and be spectacular, we know we need to work on the environment. We know we need to feed it, water it, and give it all the nutrients and support that it needs. Why do we not think that when we look at people, when we look at ourselves? You know, we know, or you may not know, but if you put fish in a pond, the same thing happens in a way in that, depending on the size of that pond, that will determine how big the fish will grow. And back to the plant analogy, if you put something in a pot, the plant will, or tree, if you plant an oak tree in a pot, it will still only grow to a certain size because it becomes root bound and it can't grow beyond that. So it's about environment. Is your environment too small for you? Too small for you to be all that you could and should be? Maybe you're being a small tree when you can be a great oak tree. Maybe you're restricted by that environment, or maybe you're just seeing yourself as the problem rather than the environment as the problem. You know, and the food, it could be about nutrients. The hydration is really important, but also it's what education are you being fed? What opinions are you being fed or taking on? Are you spending, like most people do, an hour or two on things like TikTok and the like, watching little videos? Now, if you are really controlled by that, I would recommend people to look at motivational speeches and different things on these medium. But if they get distracted into just a load of mind-numbing content and they suddenly think, Christ, that was an hour there, that wasn't just an hour of your time, that was an hour of bad mental nutrition, attitudinal negative that's affecting you. So in the same way that most of us wouldn't blame a seed or a bulb or a plant for not being all that it could and not blossoming, we'd look at the environment in which it was growing. Remember, the environment in which you're growing or not growing is going to determine your future. And if you're not growing as much or as fast or as successfully as you want, you need to seriously consider the environment you're in and either change that or expand that or find different positives to feed into that for that environment to be made all that it needs to be.